All right, guys, welcome back to Digital Media Technology, Photoshop number 2. Let's go. We're going to go to the Google Classroom, click on Photoshop 2. Here are the instructions. Here's the photo. Let's open the instructions first. Grab the photo of the crime scene from the Google Classroom and drag it to Photoshop CC. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the photo. You have to open the photo first. This is very important. Click on the photo first and then drag it to the desktop. You have to open it first. Otherwise, if you just drag it over, you're going to get, look how crappy that looks, right? You're going to get like a half-inch version of it compared to, a 5-inch version. So make sure you grab the version that is a high resolution by opening it first and dragging it over. Okay, then we're going to open Photoshop. If you forgot how to do that, we're going to go up here to this infinity sign guy. We're going to click on it. Make sure you sign in, use your school ID, and it's going to bring up the apps. It says Photoshop. We're going to click open. And yours will ask a bunch of questions, but eventually you should open Photoshop here, and this is what it should look like. We're just going to drag the photo in. Okay? All right, let's go. We're going to zoom in here. To zoom in, it's Command plus. To zoom out is Command minus. I'm going to just zoom in. That's a good amount right there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to zoom out just a touch. All right, here we go. Using the crop tool, crop out the calculator. It's actually a headband, but crop it out on the left side and the zip tie on the bottom. When you move the lines in, and when you're done cropping, just press enter. Okay? I'm going to move this over actually a little bit so we can see if we can see both at the same time. Here we go. Let's move this over. Okay? All right, here we go. We're going to find the crop tool, which is this guy. It's the 5th one down. And as you can see, when you do that, it brings up the lines around the photo. We're going to move this in to get rid of that. It's actually a headband. It looks like a calculator for some reason. And then we're going to get rid of the zip tie on the bottom. I'm going to move it up. And when I'm done, I'm going to press enter. Now, if you mess up and you want to undo it, it is Command Z. But again, we're getting rid of that thing on the left side and a thing on the bottom. We're going to drag it up. Press enter. Okay. Using the levels, make the entire photo darker, 0.80. You can click on the second adjustment in the top row if you have the adjustments open, or you can find it going to image adjustments levels. We're going to find it on the right side first because I believe all the updated versions should have it. We're going to click on adjustments. And we're going to go to, what does it say? Go to the levels. Now they've changed this just a touch. I got to find levels. Oh, it was right on it. Click on levels. All right, so this does all the reds, greens, and blues. You can change it to specific ones, but we're just going to leave it on the default here. And we're going to move this little dial right here. As you can see, if you move it to the right, it makes it darker. To the left, lighter. We want this middle area to say 0.80, so I can just type it in and press enter. Or again, you can move this over. Okay. All right. Using the dodge tool, make the grass lighter. If it's not working, make sure you're in a background layer. Okay, so we're going to find a dodge tool. It's over here. It is 2 down from that paint bucket, 1 down from the raindrop. It's this guy here, but we have to make sure it's a dodge tool. To make sure it is the correct one, you have to click, hold, and then let go. So click, hold, let go. And again, we're going to make sure we're using the dodge tool. Now, before we use it, we have to click on the background layer. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Now, here's our circle. If you want to make it bigger, it's a right bracket on the keyboard right above the return key, or the left bracket on the keyboard makes it smaller. That's the one right next to the letter P. And we're going to use that to make the grass lighter. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want you guys to know how to use these specific tools. So I'm going to, make this really light so you guys can see the difference here. Okay, that's good. Using a burn tool, make the markers and numbers darker. Okay, so we're going to go back over to where we got our dodge tool, the lollipop here, and we're going to change it to the burn tool. The burn tool does the opposite of the dodge tool. So the dodge tool makes things lighter, the burn tool makes things darker. And again, if you want to make that circle smaller, it's a left bracket. To make it bigger, it's a right bracket. We're going to use it on the orange cones and the numbers. Again, I'm just showing you guys how to do this so you guys can do this in future assignments. Okay, using a brightness contrast, change it to the following: brightness 30, contrast minus 50. Okay, so we're going to go back to the adjustments, and we're going to go to the brightness contrast, which I believe is the first one. Brightness 30, so I'm going to move this over, or again, you can just type it in 30. Contrast minus 50, I believe that's all the way to the left. Yep, there you go. Okay, so as you can see, it just changes the color and like the exposure of the photo, right? There we go. Changes the contrast, obviously. Okay, using selective color, second from the right on the bottom row, or go to image adjustment, selective color, change to the following: cyan minus 100, black plus 100. Okay, we're gonna go back to the adjustments. And again, if I'm moving too quickly, just rewind and try to go to it. Make sure you get this. We're gonna go to, what does it say? Selective color. Okay, so under the adjustments, selective color. Okay, and it's automatically already default on the reds, and that's fine. That's what we're going to be using here. Cyan for the reds. So cyan, we're going to move all the way to the left, and black all the way to the right. And as you can see, it changes the reds in the photo. Now, her hair is a little bit redder. All this stuff here is just a little bit more red as we change the black into cyan on this photo. Okay. Using a spot healing brush tool, get rid of the drops of blood. Leave the puddle though. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go over here to the left side. Right above the paintbrush, we're gonna use a spot healing brush tool. Make sure it is the regular spot healing brush tool. We're gonna get rid of the droplets of blood. And just like we did with the burn tool and dodge tool, we have to make sure we're in a background layer. So right down here. You can make the circle smaller. We're gonna get rid of the droplets of blood. I'm gonna zoom in, Command plus. Again, if I'm going too fast, just rewind. We're going to get rid of the droplets of blood. We're going to leave that big puddle for after. And I'm going to show you guys why. So as you just draw over it, what it does is it just gets rid of things by using data from around that area to replace it with. To have the photo fill the frame, it's Command 0. That's what I did to make it fill the frame there. Okay. Use the clone stamp tool to get rid of the puddle. Make sure you copy and clone an area first on the bottom by holding the Option key and then clicking. This will allow you to copy something and put it somewhere else. Okay, we're going to go 2 down from what we're using. Okay, this is the clone stamp tool. Now before we can use it, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to make this smaller. I have to hold the Option key so we can copy something. We're going to copy this area and we're going to put it up here. So I'm going to hold the Option key and then I'm going to click and I'm going to let go of the Option key. And now, as you can see, there's some of the concrete inside my circle here. And I'm just going to draw around it. And as you see, as I'm moving my circle, there's like a little plus guy on the bottom that is moving along with what I'm doing here. So even though I copied one area, as I move, it's going to copy the area around it. And this is pretty good. So I'm going to do that again for anyone that missed it. I'm going to go to the clone stamp tool. I'm going to come down here to this open area. I'm going to hold the Option key. I'm going to click to copy it. I'm going to let go. Then I'm just going to drag over this big puddle to get rid of it. This is a good tool to use to get rid of things that you don't want there. If you just want to replace something, you can also use this to copy a person and put it in a photo multiple times. Okay, that is our assignment here. Now that we're done, you can go to File, Save, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to click Save a Copy. I'm going to put it in a spot I can find, like the desktop. That's fine. I'm going to make sure I change the format from Photoshop to JPEG. Photoshop will still leave all your layers. We don't want to do that. We're done. So we're going to make sure we save it as a photo format. So it's a JPEG. That's what we need to save it as. And the name, I would put it as your name. And then 2, since it's Photoshop 2, click Save. And then you're going to click OK. and then you're going to turn that into the classroom assignment as an attachment. That is today's Photoshop 2. If you ever have any questions, please ask me. I can come around and help people. If you don't know what you're doing, try looking at the directions, rewinding, all of that, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.